The best part of waking up is not Folgers in your cup. However, you are watching
Chris gets curious. Chris gets curious. Chris gets curious. Chris gets curious.
Bow Bow. It's a show where I play TikTok clips.
Guys, this is gonna sound insane, but there is currently a fungus that is spreading from cats to humans that literally eats your skin, and a cat can give it to you just by scratching you. This fungus actually showed up in Brazil back in the 90s, and it lives in a cat's claws, in their saliva, and in any open wounds that they may get. They're saying that you don't even need a scratch from the cat to get it, because they're saying that a sick cat can also sneeze the fungus straight onto you as well. So obviously that's great. Once it gets into your body, it starts as a small bump and then it opens into sores that can travel up your arm or across your face, and in rare cases it can get into your lungs, your joints, and even the brain. And by the way, they're saying that this version has been more aggressive than the normal one. So that's cool. The only way to get rid of the infection if you get it is to be put on antifungal pills for up to 9 months at a time, and doctors are currently saying that that treatment is starting to fail. This fungus has already spread to Argentina, Paraguay, Chile, and Uruguay, and it just turned up into the UK, and the CDC is saying right now that it's only a matter of time before it's in the US too. 2026. Leave us alone.
Cat scratch fever. We were all thinking it. Didn't Simpsons already do it though? Like, in all honesty, the Simpsons already did a thing about the cats got everyone sick, or blamed it on the cats at least.
Seen these? These are star holes from Poland. Why are they weird? Because they twist on the way in. This would be hard in wood, but these are in granite. And they're ancient. Now try searching this. Google's AI will beat you to the punch and say this is not evidence for advanced technology. That is dumb. Star holes are older than the Egyptians. The Egyptians used a blade that thick to cut granite. The mainstream explanation that nobody believes anymore is copper tubes and sand. As an engineer, that's a shit idea. But we have this guy now. This is an ancient core of a tube drill. A drill leaves a spiral mark as it drills into the rock. That took 4 days, by the way. That method does not. The speed at which the ancient Egyptian drill went into the rock was faster than this drill right here. Just sit with that one for a second. Then some Russian dudes tried to prove that you could make hieroglyphs with flint and a hammer. Did a pretty good job. That took them 4 hours. Here's something to consider. This obelisk sits outside of Luxor Temple. It sits on top of a red quartzite base. See how deep those are? Red quartzite is harder than granite. They carved both those with a rock. I'm not kidding, that's the story. Back to Poland. The reason why I brought Egypt up is because in World War II, they discovered these passage mounds in Poland. After excavating them, they discovered that they have megalithic foundations. I have some theories on this. Most of them include using vibration, which is carved all over Egypt. I cover all this in excruciating detail in Unfiltered Egypt. I do not post those here due to the platform's limitations. To me, these are in the same category as the paper-thin vases that are extremely precise from Egypt as well. There are more anomalies than explanations. If you want my take on this stuff, this is my research. I even got a little video guy for you, and then how to read ancient art like science. That's where you find it, or always on this website. All proceeds go to Harvard, not the university, my dog.
So many crazy mysteries out there. So many buildings, so many ways that they have shaped stone.
So what you're looking at here is a computer simulation of absolutely nothing. This is empty space. Literally empty space with nothing in it. This is the simplest thing you could possibly imagine in the universe. And you can see it's it's an interesting place to be, empty space. It's not dull and boring. What you're looking at here is that even when the particles are taken out, the field still exists. The field is there, but what's more, the field is governed by the rules of quantum mechanics. And there's a principle in quantum mechanics, which is called the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which says you're not allowed to sit still. And the field has to obey this. So even when there's nothing else there, the field is constantly bubbling and fluctuating in what's, quite honestly, a very complicated way. These are things that we call quantum vacuum fluctuations. But this is what nothingness looks like.
The whole bunch of nothing going on.
So when you're being told that you did a search on ChatGPT and so you need to accept hyperscale data centers in your community because of that,
Yeah.
that is erroneous. That is
Oh,
not
I
true.
mean,
So my point is that we are using these things all day, every day, on our phones. And maybe, okay, maybe some people aren't. Some people are shaking their head no. But if you used your debit card today, you used a data center. If you used your cell phone today, you used a data center. And so, anyway, my point is they aren't going away. I've not seen any reports of any that have been decommissioned. I think there's a reason why people are willing to spend billions of dollars on facilities is because they know that they're going to use them for the foreseeable future. And so I don't see that as an issue.
Oh,
go ahead.
Can I go?
Yeah,
Okay.
you go.
I don't know if anyone remembers back in I actually wasn't born yet, but in the 70s there was a famous ad about pollution where someone throws a piece of trash out the window and there's a crying Native American guy.
I remember that.
Okay. So that started this big kind of pollution kills campaign. And it was put forward by a nonprofit. However, that nonprofit was supported by basically the can industry because they didn't want to clean up their own trash. A lot of people don't know that. I discovered that recently. So similarly, with the idea of carbon footprint, it was shown that British Petroleum ran a marketing campaign to tell individuals that they should pay attention to their own impacts on the climate to distract from those impacts that the industry was having. And so I think what we see now is a very large marketing campaign that is telling individuals and consumers that this hyperscale build out is their fault. And when you can look at reports by reputable studies that, like McKinsey, for example, came out with a report recently that shows that this recent, and I'm not talking about data centers, from a long time back. For sure, the data center industry has greatly changed. I'm talking about the current wave of massive, expansive build out of these hyperscale data centers. That really 65% of that is coming from enterprise use. Okay? So that's not from consumers or individuals. So when you're being told that you did a search on ChatGPT and so you need to accept hyperscale data centers in your community because of that, that is erroneous. That is not true.
it's not true. It's true. It's what she says is true. All the stuff is real weird, and I feel the same way as I make images on here for my thumbnails and whatever. I've used to get my theme song, I sang into Suno. I love playing music, but I didn't come up with that lickety split that nice that fast. I know how to use some I can't even think of it. I guess I don't even know what I do. I'm glad it's a good thing AI exists, right? I'm too stupid to know what I'm talking about. No, I can use some voice correction stuff in some of the music software and whatever if I was to get it all nice like that or whatever the case is. But I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. It's like, also, how could we not use this stuff? We can use AI and it already works now. We don't need another data center. It doesn't need to be any faster for me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I casually use ChatGPT. I'm a sinner, I guess. I don't know.
We've been in the kingdom of hell. See, along the cerebrospinal system, that's heaven and hell. The whole length of the spine is heaven and hell. There's 33 bones along there, right? 33 degrees of Jacob's ladder. When you get to heaven, the optic thalamus, we'll explain this in the next half. When you get to the optic thalamus, you'll be saved. Now you'll see what salvation is. If Christ is within, and he doesn't belong to you. Are you Catholic? Oh, you must have a Jesus that doesn't drink coffee. Oh, our Jesus won't allow us to have contraceptives. Oh, Jesus won't allow them to drink. Wrong Jesus. That's the historical one that Rome wants us to believe in. It's very important to understand this, because then you'll see why the courts are the banks that have enslaved us with debt and taken away our sovereignty, because we've forgotten who we are. Jacob's stone. You see, he laid his head here, right? And he saw angels going up and down a ladder, and he struggled with one of those angels, And when he finished struggling with one of those angels, he gets a name change to Israel, and he sees God face to face, the optic thalamus. That's the one that sees, the third eye. You don't see God with these eyes. You see God with that eye. So he lifted up his oil in his dream, and he struggled with the angel, and he overcome the angel, and he saw God to face, and he called that place he called it Pineal. Pineal. There's a different spelling here, but it doesn't matter. It's the pineal gland, because he saw God to face and lived. So, and this is also Solomon's temple, and Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Sheba means 7. Remember, the Queen of Sheba came from the south, and she brought all her goods along the witten camels and went to see Solomon, and she was marvelling at the glory of Solomon's temple. You see, the cranium. In the Christian scripture, this is where Christ is crucified. Here, at the top of the vagus nerve, when the oil finally reaches and passes the 33rd vertebrae, because Jesus dies at 33, it gets crucified, the oil, as it passes the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is right there, that red one there, right under the optic thalamus at the top of the medulla oblongata. And when that oil passes through there, it baptizes the optic thalamus. And for 3 days, it stays dormant. On the 3rd day, the pineal gland rises up and firms up. And the oil vibrates 1,000-fold higher than when it was down here. This is like a distillery. It's like a thermometer. And when it gets up there and it hits the optic thalamus, all of those brain cells, the dormant brain cells, activate. And that's the result. What are these things called? Halo. Do you know what that means in Greek? Salt. See what happens when you lift the salt up? You get salvation, because the same juice that flows from the generative area where the sacrum is, that's the same fluid that comes from the brain. And this is why the prodigal son who wastes his life in riotous living is the one who doesn't understand the science of sex, and who drinks with all the heavy bibers of wine, because alcohol is acidic. Anything acidic will destroy the oil. The oil will not be protected. You will lose the oil. When you lose the oil, you die. Remember the virgins who were waiting for the bridegroom, and some of them didn't have any oil in their receptacles, and they had to go away to get oil, and then when they got back, the bridegroom, they missed out. That's the virgins that go up here and wait for the bridegroom. The bridegroom is in here, in the heavens. And this system, the cerebrospinal system, is what's known as the soul. The fluids therein. Your blood is like sea salt. In a laboratory, there's no difference between sea salt and human blood, chemically, just the colour. And that's the Red Sea. See, that's the blood, it's the Red Sea that we have to pass through. We have to pass through the Red Sea. We have to pass through flesh and blood to get to the higher chakras, the astral, and the causal world above. But this is the climb that we make, but we need to go into the higher mind. It's all up to us. It's not up to someone out there in history that's going to come and save us.
That was a longer one. Hope you're still with me, but that's cool and interesting. There's so many different kind of takes on that, or that's one that I hear a lot of, something going up and down, story of Santa Claus has to do with that, all these different weird stories, but I don't know, fascinating stuff.
So yes, I'm doing a little experiment here.
A little experiment.
Definitely picks it up. It's nice we're breathing that in.
So, they're spraying something in the skies. There's stuff all over. We don't know what that is. It could be anything. Could be dust from a million different things. But I just think that stuff's crazy. That there might be some magnetic stuff in there and whatever. And the air pollution is bad and whatever else. I just love that. Like, even in my newspaper, this is the next newspaper. I've been telling you about my newspapers recently. If you've been watching, they got everything that we always talk about. But somehow. It says, flag system raises air quality awareness. And basically, they're just saying that they're going to raise a flag to let people know what the air quality is. It's like, great. That's what we do now. Wow, front newspaper. Here's a flag. If you happen to drive by this place, you'll know that it's really crappy. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the joke of like having a weather stone, if you've ever heard of the idea. You put a weather stone outside. You know what is happening outside because when the weather stone is wet, you know it's raining. Hey, if you tie it from a string too, you know, that's what you do. If it's got snow on it, you know, if it's white, it's, you know, it's snowing out. If it's swinging, you know, it's windy out. You know, it's stuff is stupid.
Most people don't know this, but cinnamon was never supposed to smell good. The smell of cinnamon comes from a compound called cinnamaldehyde. Cinnamon trees produce it specifically to kill fungi and bacteria that try to eat through its bark. It's actually so effective at killing bacteria that Egyptians buried it with dead bodies to stop them from rotting. And even food manufacturers use it as a preservative. So the smell that makes you feel safe and warm is a chemical that the tree evolved to kill things with. Every spice latte, every cinnamon roll, every holiday candle that you've ever eaten or smelled was designed by a tree to keep things from eating it. And it actually worked on everything except you, which is pretty insane.
You know, it's not insane. Cinnamon rolls. I mean, they're insanely good. I love cinnamon rolls. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm trying to be clever. I'm not clever or funny or whatever. I love cinnamon rolls.
While hiking, I stumbled across this weird-looking building. But getting a closer look, I discovered something very strange. Inside was a passageway leading deep underground. So I climbed down the rusted ladder, and at the bottom found this long, dark tunnel. I followed it until I came across yet another passageway, leading even further underground. Climbing down it, I then found myself in a large complex of rooms and tunnels. In one of the rooms, I'm pretty sure I found what used to be the shower.
Be really careful here not to get lost, because this place is a maze.
I explored lots of the rooms and tunnels for clues as to what this place could have once been, but I couldn't find anything. Whatever this place once was, they wanted to keep it secret. Eventually, after what felt like forever walking through this tunnel, I entered an absolutely massive chamber. So what do you think this place once was?
Dude, there's so many tunnels and things everywhere. I love watching these videos of people going and exploring all these weird places and abandoned places, whatever, for whatever purpose they were there. They're really weird, and some of them are most of them are real creepy and fascinating.
I think the U.S. government probably has unlocked 0 point or close to 0 point energy, which would be pulling energy out of the vacuum. We have inventors that have done that over and over and over. And
making energy of apparently nothing.
Well, we could start with, there's a man named Charles Pogue, who in the 30s tinkered with his carburetor and was able to get 200 miles a gallon. It's proven. It was engineers, investigated, scientists. It's totally proven. It worked. He was going to be a zillionaire or whatever. He's going to transform society. And the problem was, once the news of his engine got out, the oil stocks crashed. They just crashed. So the oil industry lobbied the U.S. government, we have to do something about this. And in 1951, the Invention Secrecy Act was passed. So now, if you patent any device that is more than 20% efficient, that's instantly classified. That is now a state secret. It's vital to national security. You can't talk about it. You can't build it, and you can't sell it unless you sell it to the U.S. military.
That's what we call progress. That's what we call innovation and supporting innovation and leading the way.
Hey everyone, this is Steve with Frequency Wave, and I just completed this beautiful, custom, one-of-a-kind frequency wave dimensions for a customer, and it has an absolute ton of detail in this piece. So first of all, I'm going to show you that I have a frequency running through here, and I'm going to show you how the neodymium magnet interacts with the magnetic toroidal field that's being produced through the amplified frequency. So as you can see, there is a lot of power. There's literally over 1,500 watts of power being produced from this device right now, and there is this deep wound all copper coil, large, it's a 24-inch coil, and in the center we have the vortex coil, and then there's a feature piece of this Lumerian quartz phantom crystal in the center that's lit back from behind. And then around the outside, on the bottom, we have a danbarite that's also backlit. And then around the posts, there are lapis lazuli and amethyst all the way around. And then we also have this rose quartz, which is also backlit. And on the top, we have this blue aura quartz crystal. Again, it's backlit with the extra detail. And then there is another rose quartz. And now this one also has a piece of glass that's going to cover the whole entire front of the piece. So there is just an absolute ton of detail. This also comes with a tablet that's filled with frequencies. So if you have any questions, you can contact Steve. You can visit the website, frequenzywave.com, or you can DM me if you have any questions.
What do you think about that? Pretty crazy, right? Wow, what's going on with that? How do you know to build the things at the certain size and whatever, I guess, well, I guess that's probably the least hard part, I guess. I don't know. Interesting.
What's up, people of the internet? All right, so y'all check this out. Today is June 17th, 2026. Got y'all another fruit tree experiment. I'm gonna plug a solar panel into one of my banana trees. And if y'all have not seen the peach tree experiments, go check those videos out, because something crazy's happening to that tree, and I've got peaches the size of softballs. So this right here is wild too, y'all, for real. 12-volt panel. Let me show y'all a few things. Okay, the panel, positive side, it's testing positive, 1.3, 1.1. Okay, this banana tree, negative 0.15, 16. And I'm excited about this because I can test the trees beside it and see what they are testing. Y'all see this tree right here showing the same thing as this one. Y'all watch this when I plug this panel into this tree. It's plugged in. Okay, this is wild. On this side of the banana tree, see this in? It's still negative, but look how high. Now watch this. It's positive. How is that possible? I know this panel is putting power into this tree, but how could it change it that far away and it be positive? Y'all seen that one was negative? This one was to begin with. And I bet you if I get closer in, watch this. Look at that. This one right here is acting more like a battery than the peach tree. Y'all, that's pretty crazy. Y'all think I'm gonna kill it? Or do y'all think I'm gonna shock this thing into putting bananas on early? There y'all go, another experiment. These are gonna be the banana tree experiments. And I know I was putting dye in these, but these things grow so fast that I would have to use gallons of blue dye and red dye to keep up. So, not doing that anymore. I did make a blue banana tree. Y'all can go back and watch that video, but there y'all go. Solar panel hooked to a banana tree. Cannot wait to see what happens.
Dude, I can't wait to see what happens either. That's such an interesting, fun one. And that's a weird one too with the banana trees. I don't know if you have been watching his videos or any of my videos from the past. I've been showing those. So check his videos or my videos out. Pretty funny.
Well, Einstein was put in by the Rockefellers to get somebody to debunk the ether. You have the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds who own the entire education system throughout the entire world. You know, someone says, I study at a school in this country. It's the same thing that you learn in the other countries. You can see it now today in all the countries where the schooling system is working. During the 1889, there was, I believe it was the Morley experiment, which was debunking the ether. That was the first step. And then secondly, they brought in Einstein, who Einstein was a USPS worker, which is funny. He was a post office worker. And I'm not insulting post office workers, but the fact that this guy became the super genius of all of this, and they said all these things and what they do is they put these people in, and then these people become very popular. And so he was funded so that he could go against the ether. When you get rid of the ether after the 1920s, you call it now quantum. That's what people know this as. They're like quantum theory and this and blah, blah, blah. But once you remove the ether, you also remove pretty much the spirit aspect of everything. And this is what Steiner talked about, that there's the fifth element, the spirit aspect of everything.
Interesting. This is a word I use a lot. But I mean it. All this stuff is truly interesting, right?
Be careful if you ever see these holy rocks when you go to the beach. What is this stuff? This is actually sandstone. And if you look through the rocks here, you'll see some regular rocks and you'll see sandstone here and there. This sandstone is evidence that something really, really cool is nearby. And so if you see this unique rock and you're not careful, you might actually walk past something that's even cooler than this. Let me show you. All right, I just found what I was looking for, but before I show that to you, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this. If you're wondering what caused these little holes, well, crazy fact, these holes are actually from ancient burrowing animals like shrimps and clams. Back when this was just sand, they burrowed down in it, and then catastrophic volcanic events happened, which started the fossilization process, turning this into stone. Now, for the cooler thing, check this out. This is a 20 million year old clamshell fossil. This is a burrowing animal. It's a filter feeding mollusk. They're actually related to things like snails and octopus. So when you see this brown tan sandstone in the rocks, that is evidence that you're looking in the Astoria Formation. That's why you can find cool fossils like these, and that's also why you should...
I wonder where he was.
So we're just down in the Gunnerer Passage, and you can see the leaves are pretty much there, almost at full height now. We had the perfect amount of sort of rain and moisture, obviously, earlier in the season, and all this sunshine has really brought everything on. So quite a dense canopy of cover here, good for keeping the sun off, or if you get a bit of rain, like you can possibly hear on the camera, great for channeling the water away from you and down these wonderful stems and obviously feeding the plant itself. We've done some sort of time-lapse sort of photography and edits for the Gunnerer plantation through the year. So if you go to any of our social media sites, you'll find some videos of that online, which is fascinating just to see that sort of speed of growth from nothing to the height that you see above me now.
Really cool, right? Interesting. And at first I thought it was totally fake and AI, and it was just something weird, but that's really cool.
China actually hides pyramids that are even older than those in Egypt. In Tianxinan Prefecture, Guizhou Province, after a big fire, the astonishing secret that had been dormant for 230 million years was revealed. Anlang Pyramid. This triangular conical mountain range, which is as high as 200 meters. Viewed from the air, it is exactly the same as the Egyptian pyramids, but it is even older and more mysterious than the Egyptian pyramids. When experts conducted an investigation, they were shocked to discover that it was formed 200 million years ago. The mountain has sharp edges and corners as if cut by a knife. The rocks are stratified neatly and uniformly. It is even located on the mysterious latitude line of 30 degrees north. It echoes the Egyptian pyramids. The most puzzling thing is, the surface of the mountain seems to have traces of artificial accumulation. Its regularity is completely contrary to the law of natural weathering. How on earth did this come into being? It is a geological wonder in nature. It is still a lost civilization in ancient times. How do you think it was formed? Follow me and show you a different world.
200 million years old? How do they come up with these numbers? And at what point, how many years pass before your mind just checks out completely and any number will work for you? What is that number? Like, definitely past like 10,000 years. You're just like, yeah, I mean, what was going on 200 years ago? This? Is this going on 200 years ago?
Just to put in perspective.
Not even?
This is all mosaic. In gemstones. All throughout here. In marble. That's all mosaic though. It's like actually too much to comprehend. I think that's the dumbfounding effect on the mind that they intended for a space like this. Sometimes so things in history. And those are things making videos about old world buildings. But sometimes you just have to take in the small details. You could look at this for an hour, especially in person. Any part of it has such meticulous detail. It's all just perfect. The whole building is like this too. Each room is so different from the last. I'll show you the rest of the rooms now. Beautiful. There's even more to this building, but I'm not going to show you in this video. It's too much.
That building is just so amazing. And what I still don't understand, like he was saying, there's so much detail in everything. Everything. These aren't just flat walls that they put up with beautiful spaces like that with some interesting materials. No, this is stone and marble and all the stained glass is just beautiful. They're not just flat panels of anything. The level of detail is so amazing. And it's so captivating, and I don't know how we're supposed to believe that these buildings were made in the time that they tell us that they were made. I'm just not buying it. But that's all the videos I got for you today. I hope you liked this video. And if you did, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to support my channel, you can download my music in the description below. I got a couple songs you could download if you'd like. And I made it! 1,000 subscribers! I appreciate everyone who's along this journey with me. I know a lot of you guys message every day or comment every day. It's great. It's fantastic. And thanks for joining me on this YouTube adventure. Have a lovely day.